Coming up on this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show, we talk about the Raw Ring Report, and you know what I mean, the Raw Ring Report, the highlights of Monday Night Raw from tonight. Man, what a Raw Ring Report we got. But first, we got to talk about WrestleMania over the weekend. WrestleMania, WWE announced WrestleMania will be coming to Tampa, Dallas, and Hollywood. Yes, three WrestleManias announced. What a way to kick things off. We loving that. And Triple H and Stephanie with these disguises as WrestleMania reporters. But we'll get to the Raw Ring report as Alexa Bliss took what's the centerpiece of tonight. Alexa Bliss. What did she do to women to women's champion Oscar? Did she have Oscar on her toes? You'll have to see and find out. Woo. And also, Mark Henry entangled into a feud over the weekend, a weekend spat with former rival Ryback. What's going on with that? It's like a Twitter explosion. After Ryback made this Twitter tweet right here about wrestling business, and Mark Henry comes to the defense of wrestling. You won't believe what the world's strongest man had to say to the mighty Ryback. All this and more as the Pro Wrestling Show starts after the commercial. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this live interactive piece of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the Raw Ring Report. I'm your host, as always, Kendra Dix here. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. Thank you all for watching this live interactive edition of the Raw Ring Report. And we're going to have a latest on hot topics, little hot topics, but we have a lot to get to. Let's get to the Raw Ring Report. On tonight's Raw Ring Report, Alexa Bliss coming out the aftermath of what she did to Randy Orton, blinded Randy Orton. I mean, she blind Randy Orton, and the aftermath was some serious after effects. I mean, serious, like Randy Orton is reverting back to what had happened to him when he had I don't know, when he had them little shock factors you see right here. Randy Orton in a mask, I guess with severe burns, first degree severe burns, and Alexa Bliss burnt the you know what out of him, and we'll see what she had played towards tonight. Well, first thing was tonight's Raw was Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. Charlotte Flair, who announced this couple weeks that she's entering the Royal Rumble as well. Charlotte was in action against Peyton Royce. And Charlotte going right after Peyton Royce. Peyton Royce wasted no time whatsoever. Charlotte tried to combat Peyton Royce with a chop, a series of chops. And then, you know, that little thing with her and her father, Charlotte and her father not getting along, and Ric Flair on the tutelage of Lacey Evans, who mocked Charlotte, who could have been Charlotte by wearing Ric Flair robes. It was like, you know, what they call a kiss, you know, stealing someone outfits and stuff. It was like a kiss of death in a way, not a kiss of death, but you know what I'm talking about, like Charlotte with Peyton Royce trying to mock Charlotte with her look and stuff, trying to imitate art. Sincere form of flattery. Charlotte couldn't pace no time to it. Charlotte got down and quick with hitting Peyton Royce with the figure eight and got the 1-2 with the submission. So Peyton Royce is playing mind game, not playing well, but Lacey Evans and Ric Flair playing mind games with Charlotte towards the Royal Rumble to get Charlotte off her game. And is these mind games working going forward and stuff? So we have to wait and see on what's going on. Lacey Evans is playing serious mind games, playing with Charlotte's emotions, being the new Charlotte Flair, and a lot of people like to participate and stuff on what's going on with that. Let's just hope that she knows what she's doing. Also, um Mace of Retribution, with Retribution in his corner, goes against Xavier Woods doing it on his own against in the New Day. Went against Mace. It was a good match, but back and forth. But Mace tried to counter with Xavier Woods trying to get the counter at it. And then I think Kofi is have a broken jaw or something. Yeah, he has a broken jaw. But Kofi was unable to be in support for Xavier. Xavier Woods doing it alone as Mace gets the win 1, 2, 3 over Xavier. But we move over to that to we move over to Alexa Bliss hosting her playground or whatever you want to call it. Alexa Bliss show, whatever you want to call it. A Bliss, whatever Alexa Bliss had the show, I forgot. A moment of Bliss. But she called it Alexa Playground. But Alexa Bliss was acting childish like, and she invited Raw Women's Champion Asuka. Asuka was a special guest of the playground. Alexa Bliss welcomed Asuka. Alexa Bliss was still trying to hear voices in her head, thinking the Fiend was still there with her. And it just gets weirder and weirder. If you ask me, it gets crazier. Alexa Bliss is getting more weirder and weirder. She set Randy Orton on fire, and he's going all crazy, like Doctor Doom in a way. And you know, Randy Orton looking like Doctor Doom in this right here. He looks like Doctor Doom. Could be. Um, yeah, Randy Orton look like Doctor Doom, but Alexa Bliss continued to be, as Oscar was kind of a little bit frightened, didn't know what to do or say. But they had that match later on that night. Oscar left the ring and let Alexa Bliss pretend who she was talking to be more important. Also, another women's action as met the lovely goddess Mandy Rose was in action against former women's tag team champion Shayna Baszler. Now, you recall Shayna Baszler had did the same thing to Mandy's tag team partner Dana Brooke last week and made her submit. But Dana Brooke, Shayna Baszler looked dominant, kept striking Mandy. I think she just looked at anything as a blonde and want to strike them down. That's what she does. But she did so, and then she put the careful clutch, choking Mandy Rose out. Mandy Rose had no choice but to give up. It just gets more weirder and weirder when Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, losing to Shayna Baszler. They now got confidence on Shayna after Shayna doing that. So you had to see on that, but Shayna Baszler looking dominant as well. So you know how that is. But Shayna is one of the women who wants to participate in the Royal Rumble as well. So Shayna Baszler, Peyton Royce, and Alexa Bliss all had declared their entry into the Women's Royal Rumble. And Shayna Baszler, if you recall last year's Royal Rumble, she was one of the runner up in it, and she could have won it, but I guess WWE decided not to give her the you know the purse. So you know how they go. Also, AJ Styles, who declared himself in the Royal Rumble, was in action against Ricochet. A good high flying matchup between these two high flyers. AJ Styles, Dwayne AJ Styles bragging about him debuting at the Royal Rumble 5 years ago. It's been 5 years. Good God. But he debuted at the Royal Rumble in 2016. And now, 5 years later, AJ is in the Royal Rumble. Ricochet wanted to prove a point that he wanted to be in the Royal Rumble if he can beat AJ Styles. But Ricochet was unable to do so on that task. And AJ Styles emerged victorious in the match. So no Royal Rumble right now for Ricochet. Next week will be the go home show on Raw for the Royal Rumble, and we'll find out as we go who has officially made it to going to Royal Rumble in order to cash their ticket to WrestleMania. So you got to do so the Royal Rumble. Also, the Miz had announced that he'll be entering the Royal Rumble as well. We show the Miz. Yeah, okay. The Miz announced that he will be entering the Royal Rumble. Could we show the Miz? Okay, we're here. We're here. The Miz showed himself in the okay. The Miz showed himself being in the Royal Rumble. Miz declared himself in the Royal Rumble thanks to TMZ Sports. So Miz entering the Royal Rumble. The Miz trying to get himself, you know, get some buzz going about his entry. But he did his little show for Dirt Sheet. Well, Miz and Morrison. And then Miz and Morrison welcomed Gilbert, who was a complete imitation of Goldberg. Many of you recall when Goldberg was in WCW, WWE counteract with Gilbert. So Gilbert coming back right here. Gilbert, I think Gilbert had a heart attack or something. So I guess he's in good spirits, but good spirits for him. So hey. But speaking of that, they had another invitation. Drew McIntyre, some out of shape dude, came out there looking out of shape, out of box, out of whack. And all of a sudden, the Miz name, here's attentions that he don't care if it's Goldberg, Drew McIntyre, he's gonna cash in that briefcase, become WWE champion. So the Miz looking forward to become the WWE champion once again. So we have to wait and see. Also, is there distinction between the Hurt Business, between the tag team champions Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin? Can they get along? Can they pull it together? Well, it was in a huge six-man tag team match with United States champion Lashley. Matt Riddle was going against Lashley in the Lucha House Party. Matt Riddle got a bone to pick with Lashley after Lashley tried to break his leg or something, his feet. You see right here, Matt Riddle with those strikes on Lashley. Matt Riddle showing the mean streak. Lashley hit the hurt pain or the full Nelson on one Grand Metalik, made him tap. But Matt Riddle got upper hand on him. Matt Riddle looking to get his revenge and showcase a mean streak going forward. Also, Elias went Elias bodyguard. Forgot that man name. Jackson Rucker went 1-on-1 against Jeff Hardy. These two men battling out between each other, showcasing their potential and stuff. Jeff Hardy with the pyro and the pyrotechnics. Jackson Rocker was trying to get it together and get the fix in and get everything set up. But Jeff Hardy won his match, but at the end, Jackson Rocker and Elias couldn't get it together. So hey, it is what it is on that. Also, and finally, Asuka, the Raw Women's Champion, was in action. But she went against Alexa Bliss 1-on-1. Now they had their little showcase with Alexa Bliss, the playground, where Alexa and Asuka was kind of, you know, unsure of herself. Well, Alexa Bliss was kind of in her comfort zone when the lights turned dark and Alexa went purple on Asuka. See right here, Asuka didn't know what to expect. Asuka tried to do moves to combat Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss was kind of numb to it. She even did Sister Abigail. I don't know if the Fiend got her possessed or what. The Fiend must have her possessed because she acting weird and unusual and strange. Alexa did try to use the mandible claw, but instead she got her with Sister Abigail and defeat the Raw Women's Champion with 1, 2, 3. So Alexa Bliss could be getting a contendership, could be in line for the women's championship down the road. We don't know yet. But we know that Asuka, the women's champion, will be in a tag team match with Charlotte. So they're gonna defend their titles against, you know, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. But Alexa Bliss has entered the Royal Rumble, so it's just a premonition that Alexa Bliss Oscar could go for the women's title down the road. So that's a possibility, but we have to wait and see on that one. All right, that ends the Raw Ring report. Let's get over to hot topics right quick. Quick hot topics. Now, we told you about the Goldberg and Drew McIntyre. It's happening at Royal Rumble between these two for the WWE title. Who's gonna leave out and emerge victorious? Well, Double J Jeff Jarrett made his predictions bold on Monday Night Raw and claiming that Goldberg will win the match and be dominant and will become new WWE champion. But we know next week that WWE champion Drew McIntyre will return to Raw after being quarantined for almost 2 weeks. So Drew coming back on Raw to address Goldberg. Him and Goldberg will have a face to face next week before their epic Royal Rumble match at for the epic WWE Championship Royal Rumble match. So it's gonna be looking good next Monday on Raw when these two behemoths get in the ring and have that face to face at for Royal Rumble. So go home show. Also, Madison Rain, Impact star, she's officially retired. Madison Rain had official retirement for her at Impact's Hard to Kill. So Madison Rain announced that she is done for in wrestling. So farewell to Madison Rain, 5-time Knockouts champion and tag team women's tag champion. Also the rivalry that everyone's been talking about, Mark Henry and Ryback. No, this is not a wrestling match between these two behemoths. Now, the many of you know that WrestleMania 2013, 29, I think. Yeah. 29, these two men had a feud and Mark Henry won. Well, Ryback went on Twitter and said that wrestling is fake. The championship belts are props and stuff. It looked like that Mark looked like Ryback disrespected the wrestling business and called out everything but Mark Henry. No shots and nothing. Mark Henry said this tweet right here, this message on his busted old radio on he want a piece of Ryback, no question about it. So I like, man, what's going on? And then he sent this about Ryback, what he thought about with Ryback by his peers. And it's like that Ryback and saying that Ryback don't respect the wrestling business. Well, it's like the ultimate. That's how a lot of people like to say about the Ultimate Warrior and other folks, but Ultimate Warrior can't defend himself. But Ryback here defend himself. Ryback don't care. But Ultimate Warrior did defend himself when he was live. So you get those wrestlers with those bodybuilder wrestlers that think that run stuff and think everything is handed to them and stuff, and you know how they go. So hopefully this feud between these two behemoths ain't over. And you're gonna hear a lot from Mark Henry on Best of Open right back on Twitter on his little YouTube show. So hey, either with it. Also, Ethan Page feel a little bit unhappy with Impact Wrestling at the Impact did a match with him against the Karate Man. He didn't like that ending. It felt like the ending didn't live up to the didn't live up to promise. So Ethan Page and Impact. But people want to know what's next for Ethan Page. Is he going to MLW? Is he going to AEW? Is he going to WWE? We just don't know. We just had to find out like the rest of them. So hey, he's just Ethan Page knows that answer. But hey, also WWE announced that WrestleMania will be returning to Tampa, as intended was supposed to be in Tampa last year, but due to the pandemic, they want to do a 2-night WrestleMania, April 10th, April 11th at Raymond James Stadium, Tampa. Then there was WrestleMania this year was supposed to be in California, but due to California stuff, they're gonna be in California, WrestleMania Hollywood. So it'll be 2023. But the biggest news was WrestleMania coming to Texas on 2022. So these dates right here, WrestleMania this year, April 10th, April 11th in Tampa, Florida, WrestleMania in Alice coming April 3rd, 2022, and Sunday, April 2nd, 2023 in Los Angeles, California. WrestleMania. So WrestleMania coming in Tampa. Dallas, and LA. So 3 WrestleManias announced. They saying the fourth WrestleMania is considering being Los Angeles, Las Vegas. And then did you see that Triple H and Stephanie McMahon tried to portray they was anchors, Hanky Panky and Anita Realman and John Cena and Roman Reigns and Sasha Banks made the announcement as well. Sasha made the announcement for Dallas, as John Cena made the announcement for Hollywood, which he is Hollywood. So WrestleMania coming to these towns, these cities. I might want to see Dallas. If you give me, I probably want to see that, but hey, we'll see. Also, Zack Ryder, known as Matt Cardona, Matt Cardona, known as Zack Ryder, made his Impact debut. So Matt Cardona coming to Impact. So this is a one-term deal or one-term shot. We had to wait and see, but he was in AEW. I don't know why he didn't stay in AEW, but I don't know. Well, he was tag team partner Brian Myers. I think they're making a formal team, or they can be single stars. Who knows? They can probably do that little tag team with Cardona and them battle for the Impact title. No, no. Also, former Impact champion Kurt Angle said in a tweet that he watched the Cesaro and Daniel Bryan match and reminds him of him and Benoit. Yeah, I liked it too. Kurt Angle's greatest rivalry was with Chris Benoit. You know, Chris Benoit brought the best out of each other, and I can tell you can believe it. So I know how that is. But Kurt Angle, right about that. Chris Benoit and him had a good feud and a good rivalry. So I can see that. But you can't talk about it too much stuff. Also, Shane Taylor will challenge Roos for the Ring of Honor Championship. We just don't know a time date for it. It will be announced when it will come. So look forward to see that. Like I said, more wrestling for everyone is a good thing. So also, the New Japan will hit a TV deal soon in television. So you know how that go. We'll see on New Japan. Also, Kenny Omega pinned the Impact champion Rich Swann in that hard to kill 6-man tag team match. So Kenny Omega, the AEW champion. So that is this leading to rebellion? We have to wait and see on that note. But there's signs pointing towards this way. Rebellion, Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann for either title for title or one of the championships. Might be an Impact title, so you never know. All right, all right. Well, we got one more. We got one more. So yeah, that's it. The super. Yeah, that's it. All right. So we got through everything here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the Raw Report and Wrestling Hot Topics. So we hope to see you Wednesday night this time for AEW Dynamite and NXT for the Wednesday Night Raw Ring Reports and probably some more wrestling news if it was available. I've been your host, Kendrick Dix, saying so long, and we'll see you this Wednesday night here on the Pro Wrestling Show, live and active for the Ring Report. See you later.